Five, four, three, two, one. I am gonna try this one more time. Oh my gosh, this is only my 20th trip. Welcome back to Planting Life Matters. I think they call this a PMW. Not a BMW, but a PMW. Poor man's wheelbarrow. Okay, y'all, so I went from my PMW, some of y'all got a little hoot out of that, my poor man's wheelbarrow last week using my spreader. Now, I do have a gorilla cart, but check out the wheels, y'all. That's even worse over there. And I do not have a way to get these fixed. And in fact, the wheels, by the time I bought, I think you get 2 in a pack and they're like $55 each. Well, the cart itself, I think I paid $99 for. I'd rather just buy a whole new cart. But I don't want to spend the money at all. So I wonder how many bricks I can get in here to actually pull. And that's what I'm getting ready to try. I have 5 bricks in here now. And I have only 360 more to go. Yeah. Let's see how this works out. I still haven't finished that, but don't worry about it. We're going to get to that. In the meantime, once again, I had another idea. So, I am going to edge with brick in between this little gravel seating area and my grass. So, I am not putting down sand. I would recommend, honestly, putting sand down under the brick and then placing the brick on top. But I don't have any sand, so that's okay. I'm gonna work with what I got. I'm leaving about a 1/2 inch gap in between the brick, and then I'll probably put either sand in that when I get some, or I may just put gravel in between the same way that I put gravel in between bricks here. So as you can see, there is absolutely no grass that grows under this tree. And the grass looks pretty decent in this little strip here. I don't have very much grass left because I have literally taken out the vast majority of the grass out here. And I'm okay with that because that's less watering and less grass for me to have to cut. So in my vision, some type of way, the grass will start over here when you come through the arch. And then I have grass that goes all the way here. And then the grass will go back there in by the little white seating underneath that little gazebo. But I do have grass seed that I'm going to be putting down for shaded areas. And hopefully I can fill in some of the blanks here. I won't do that until I stop all the foot traffic from working. And so that little area will be grassy underneath there. But what I'm starting to do is outline starting at the foot of each gazebo. And then there's a line that I've drawn that kind of follows around with a little bit of a curve. And that's defines the seating area there. So I decided, well, let me do the same on this side. So I'm going to basically start from here and draw the line all the way up. So give you an idea, that line is going to go around. It's going to match this other side over there. And what I've done is defined, I should say, more of a pathway in between that leads to that little seating room back there that will one day in my vision become a little secret room. I don't know how yet. I have some star jasmine growing up. I finally planted the other day before we got that great rainfall. So that's some star jasmine that I've already started on this. The tree branches are dangling in between, which I'm going to allow because it just gives that mystical little feeling, I think. And okay, so back to this. I'm finishing up by defining this edge where I'll put a brick edge in, and it will go all the way over here. The question now becomes, do I really want to put more pea gravel? Because I feel like I'm overdoing it with rocks and gravel a little bit. It is the cheaper way to go, and that's why I'm doing it. I can't afford to go and buy, flagstone and have it cemented in all these different locations. and I'm DIY doing it myself. So I think I thought about mulch. I don't know. So maybe it will be part mulch and part gravel. One of the benefits of the gravel is you do not have to refresh it as much by putting in a gravel footprint. And if I wanted to, by doing that, I could throw a little rug on top the same way I did over there. I don't want to put more of the stone pavers. That wasn't my, favorite choice of material. It was inexpensive, and so I went with it there to serve a purpose of not sinking too much in that gravel because I had so much pea gravel, like 4 inches. But I believe what I'm going to do is do a mixture of some gravel and a bit of mulch and save a little area in case I want to plant something else for later. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm getting ready to start putting in the brick, try to even this up and level it off as much as possible so they're all the same height as they go in. And then it will curve around and go all the way down. Start back on this side, bring the brick all the way around here. That's the plan. Wish me luck. This is what a happy dog in the garden looks like, y'all. Hey girl, good morning. How are you? You ready to get to work? Wait, where you going? I said work, and you leaving? And you gonna hide behind a shrub? Really? No lie. Come here. Come on. Good girl. Okay, we gotta get to work. So y'all, I'm realizing I say y'all a lot. That's truly a country southern Texas thing. Anyway, so I was able to get about maybe a total of 45 bricks out by myself, but I had to call in some reinforcements. Say hi, Christopher.
How y'all doing?
That's my nephew. So look at the tires. Y'all, this is bad. That's bad, but it's working. You do what you gotta do. But this is the work, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. So I have what, maybe how many left you think?
30 more left.
30 more left?
Yeah.
How many trips have you made?
45. Well, with trips, I made about 40.
Okay. So I was only putting in 15 to 30. And it was hard for me to pull. So I don't know how you're doing that. But this is going to be funny. Let me see you pull it. Let me see you pull it. Oh my God. Look at those tires. Y'all, it's just the poor stuff right here. This is so sad. This is po-folk all the way, okay? But we do what we got to do because planting life matters. So I am just having him stack them up at the end of that path down there because, oh, and I forgot to mention, I actually have to buy over 648, I think I need for this area. I can't do the math right off, but it is about 60 feet long from the front of the house sidewalk to the back gate, I believe about 60. And I want to do 3 feet wide, make it ADA accessible. And so if someone that was in a wheelchair or something needed to get back there, they'd have plenty of room to do so. And my goal is to have a little curve. Now I do obviously have the city utility things to be considered. Spit that out. I have to consider those items there. I am not going to plant anything obviously near that, but I am going to pull that grass around that area and mulch in around it. And I'm going to put some succulents there because it's so dry, the sprinkler system doesn't hit there. What can I grow there with not worrying about water? Well, some succulents, some stone crop. So I'm just going to remove the grass, put some soil down, and then add in stone crop, mulch it, make it pretty. And then the bed actually is going to kind of curve and go along this direction and straight up here and all the way back where he is. So that's what we're working on. Seriously? I don't want to start over. Okay. Okay. I don't even want to look. It's gonna be straight, and if it's not, it's gonna stay that way. It ain't straight, y'all. It ain't straight. It ain't straight. Does this make me OCD? Does this make me kind of crazy out here talking to myself? If it's flawed, it gives character. Whoop, there it is. We're gonna move on. Okay, guys, I am done. I put the brick in. Let's see if I can zoom a little closer around the seating area. And I'm going to be adding some type of grass repair to thicken this grass up that goes now on that grass path to back under the um, little gazebo there. And then I made the brick come around on this side. So I basically created a new area to match this side. And that just created a little pathway. And so it goes all the way over. And I am not done yet. I'm going to backfill the edges a little more. And what do I mean by backfill? Like in these little areas here, there needs to be some soil added. I've done some, and the purpose of that is so it can then become flushed with the ground. And like here's one that has a gap, and here's one that is flushed. What I tried to do is pull out some of the grass that was in this area that's going to be killed off, and gravel is coming in here. And I took some of that grass and tried to transplant it here in some really bare spots. I'm going to see if I can pick up some more. Well, first I'm going to try to seed. I take that back. So I already bought some grass repair. I'm going to work on that first. And if that doesn't help, then maybe I'll get some grass plugs and fill in the bare spots that way. So yeah, I'm happy with it so far. And I have never put brick down as a border before. I love it. I just love brick. It's very traditional. I'm a bit eclectic, but I am at the heart, the core of me, a traditional girl. So my next step, I'm trying to figure out also how to finish this off in this area. I think I'm going to pick up some more flagstone and make a second row in front of that one, and make it come all the way up here. So it's kind of like a pathway that potentially stops by the brick. My other thought was to do a 2 by, I don't know, a little bit wide brick pathway here. I don't know yet. No, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. I forgot. I want to keep all this grass, and that's it. Because my grandson plays in this grass. Actually, he plays in the pea gravel. Ooh, little ones love the gravel. So if you're going to do a gravel patio, they love it. Did y'all just see my big old toe get in there? That's just wrong. Yes, it's blue and ashy. If you don't know what ashy means, honey, just Google it. That means you've never been ashy if you don't know what ashy means. Take 2 or 3 or 4. Get the camera and show you guys. So this is a little wet, so that's why it's darker coming out of the bag. It's a little wet. This was I put down yesterday. It's dry, but it hasn't been rinsed off totally good. So when you first get it, it's like completely white with dirt. So I'm gonna fill this in, and hopefully, I love tans and browns and natural colors, so hopefully it leans more towards that brownish tone. I bought 8 more bags. That lighter color, that is just 2 bags. It's on the ground, very thin. Man, I am seriously debating whether I should put the landscape fabric down or not before I spread this out. Tell you why. Obviously, landscape fabric will help keep the stones from sinking into the ground. Here's the difference here. This is a very thin layer of gravel that is on the ground without any fabric. Well, it may be messy to most people, and it is a little messy, but it's more natural to me, and I do like that. I grew up on the lake, so I like rocks, I like dirt, I like all that stuff, and I like the natural look. I'm going to clean it up and add more to it. The other purpose of not putting fabric here is because this actually may become a planting zone. Um, Obviously, I could just cut through that if I needed to plant something somewhere else. But I don't know. I'm playing with it to see if I like this fabric. The downside of it, if it's too thin, you will see black through that, or the fabric itself, whatever color you use. So I'm going to try. If I don't like it, I'll rip up the fabric and just lay it naturally on the ground. And if some sinks in, I really don't care. Um, that makes you do have to top it off more, I think. So that area over here is half fabric and half stone, and it does start to sink into the ground over a period of time. And you do have to come in and maybe top it off with a little bit more. So those are some options that I'm considering you should think about if you're doing AP gravel. So let me get back to putting this together. I'm always losing something. Oh, there they are, my gloves. You know, when you get old, ooh, child, you can put something down and it would have 2 minutes ago and you don't know what you did with it. So why do I hang these in the trees? So I can hang my glasses on them every now and again when I'm working. No, I don't. I just said that. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Let's spread this out. Why do I hang things in the trees? I don't know. I do it all the time. Yeah, no excuse. I think I saw it on Pinterest in a rustic garden, and I kind of liked it. So I never did anything more with it. I do need to figure out what's going to happen with that. I'm just going to spread this out as much as I can. Now, this does have the potential of being kicked into the grass because I have the bricks flushed with the ground. I didn't want them like super high to prevent them being a trip hazard. So some may get kicked over in the grass every now and again. I can live with it. My lawnmower may feel differently. And edging. Whew, child, let me tell you, I've been doing some edging when these suckers start flying like little bullets. Here we go, half and half. Some on the fabric, some not. I hope I don't regret this later. But there's no such thing as regret in the garden. You just do it over. Oh. All right, so that was 3 bags, I think. I have 5 more in the truck. I started with 2. I picked up 8 more. The other thing I don't like is if the fabric starts to bulge up and you see it. I don't like landscape fabric either. Because another thing about landscape fabric, it doesn't break down. It doesn't give back to the ecosystem like cardboard would. So you end up with plastics in the ground. That's another reason I don't like that. I try to avoid that as much as possible. It doesn't break back or give back to the earth. I don't typically like to use it if it doesn't break down. Oh, no, it is. Okay. I don't even broke the can. Okay, for real, it's not hard. Yes, it is. Oh, Lord. Okay. It's not hard. It's, what do we want to call it? I just have such a long, you know what it is? This is a good lesson. When you have the right tools to work with, things are a lot easier. But when you pull the things that have 3.5 tires, it is nothing more than a woo Lord moment. But once again, do what you gotta do. Good for the soul. All right. Now one may ask, why not get all the bags at once and bring them back and then start doing it? Well, one can ask all they want. I'm doing it how I do it. Okay. I got a little distracted again. Yeah, so I had mentioned previously that I'm going to try to make a landing here using some brick. So I need to dig down a little bit. You can see where I've dug down maybe a couple inches. I'm going to pull out all of this soil on top. I'm dumping it right now. And I still don't know if this is an upgrade from my PMW or not, considering since I've been hauling these bricks, those wheels are getting worse. But I'm gonna get that soil out of there and then try to level the ground as much as possible to install the little brick landing so I can open up this little gate and swing it back and forth without it being obstructed. So that's what I'm working on. After that, I'll finish up the pea gravel. Okay, so I ended up putting about a total of 10 bags in this area. I believe it is, I don't know how many feet this is. I'm gonna guess 16 by 10, something like that. Yeah, 12 by 10 maybe. So I ended up doing about 8 bags. Half of this area has landscape fabric and the other half does not. I think because I wanted to leave myself a little wiggle room in case I change my mind about the fabric. I noticed that the areas where I have fabric, it has more rock than the other areas, but I also ran out. I'm okay with it the way it is right now. Oh, by the way, I haven't wet it down yet. So I wanted to show you this real quick before I wet it down. It will change the complete color of it. So there's my little brick landing that I made. I haven't washed it off yet. So I did put a little sand in between the cracks. I put those bricks a lot closer together than I did the brick edging. And so my little gate, which is still not fixed yet, but this is really a part of a fence panel that I'm calling a gate. I'm just leaving one area not connected to use it as a gate so I can get in and out and do things. So I am going to wet this down. Oh, and by the way, guys, I was trying to figure out what kind of pattern to do with the brick. And I got so tired and frustrated. And by the time I finished, I didn't measure this. I was just eyeballing it. So I didn't have a way to fill in the gap. And I don't have a way to cut brick. And I didn't want to change my design. So my brother gave me this rock last year. He painted it for me. He knows that I love rocks. Okay. Not just, river rocks and that kind of stuff. Just, really pretty rocks. And so he carves rocks also. And look at this little cross that he carved for me. I took that with me when I had some medical stuff going on. I kept it with me always in my little bag when I was in the hospital. So there's a little heart-shaped rock and a little star-shaped rock. And then an arrow pointing to you better know Jesus. If you don't, you need to. I don't know why I went into that country voice. Good Lord. Anywho, okay, sometime I crack myself up because that was just so unnecessary. Oh, and here's another little heart. So I just stuck that in there with a little bit of pea gravel around it, and that is where we're gonna leave that. So I'm gonna wet it down and make this look a lot better. Okay, so this is what it looks like now that I've rinsed it off and I've gotten all the dirty buildup from it. It is a very, very pretty multicolored pea gravel. I love it. And okay, oh, let me show you once I rinsed off the bricks too. So that's my little landing now entry that goes into the hot mess zone, um, which I will show you. Sneak peek, grass is there. So I will do a video on that as well. Um, okay, so I think I'm happy with it. Now I just need to move my lounge chairs back in the area, and that is it. And I did update this area a little bit too, where I put the brick in. I took some pea gravel from my existing pea gravel bed because it's so much. I didn't have to go buy any more, so I was able to just freshen up this area. And I'm going to be really happy once I get some grass in here. I'm getting ready to put some seed down here shortly. But I think that's it. I'm going to stop here for now. I am happy with it. What do you guys think? Do you think I did okay? My first time, putting brick down, and I used materials that I had. So it can happen. I'm glad I'm into the rustic look and it doesn't have to be perfect. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much. And remember, planting life matters.